Okay, here we are at the basement of the Gibson Guitar Studios here in London, and it gives me great pleasure to be in company of Yoshiki, pianist and drummer of Japan's biggest export, ex-Japan, who have sold an amazing 30 million albums worldwide. Hi Yoshiki, how are you?
Very good, thank you for having me.
It's a pleasure to see you here. And next year marks sort of the first release from ex-Japan in 20 years. So why is now the right time?
Well, because our band has so much like a drama, so it took 20 years. We have 10 years blank. Almost 20 years ago, our band broke up. And then we got reunited about 10 years ago. So then since then, we started touring little by little. Then eventually we started touring throughout the world. Then eventually we decided to make a new album. Yeah.
Fantastic. And the band has changed its sound over the years. Like we started off as like a speed power metal band, with symphonic sounds, progressive sounds. So what kind of sound can fans expect on his next album?
Yes, our sound, the music has been evolving. So also this is the first time we are trying to, aim, or we are recording for international audience. So 20 years ago, we didn't think we were gonna be touring throughout the world or anything. We were just making album for Japanese audience. So it's gonna be okay. When it comes to English, the lyrics. So it's gonna be 95%, almost 100% English.
Oh really?
Yes.
Okay.
Also sound-wise, it's gonna be even wider range. So aggressive side became even more aggressive or heavier, even heavier. Also the melodious part is also even more beautiful. So it became like much wider range. Yeah.
And where have you made the album? Have you made it in Japan or in Los Angeles, like your own studio?
Yes, can you just ask my makeup artist to make sure so here's what it feels like, sorry. Yes, I own a studio in Los Angeles. Actually, I used to have recently I sold that studio and then bought a new studio in Los Angeles. I think it's better, but long time ago I bought the studio that Metallica was recording in the Black album.
Oh wow, yeah.
Yeah, it's because I couldn't book the studio, so I bought it. No, it's a long story, but yes, I own the studio in Los Angeles.
Yeah. Fantastic. And you're marking it with X Day next year in March. I think March 11th is when the album comes out worldwide. You've got a special concert at Wembley Arena on March the 12th. And why have you chosen Wembley Arena for the showcase, the premiere, touring the live album, the album?
Yes. We had a show in the Madison Square Garden last October. Then we were thinking, what's the next place? Also, year 2011, we did a European tour. Then we had really good connection with the audience. I thought that was one of the best tours we've done. So we always wanted to do something interesting in Europe. So then, we are releasing the album first time in 20 years. So we said it is a big event for us as well. So then it's like, let's try to do the big album release event in Europe. Then, what's the most famous venue in Europe? So then Wembley Arena. So that's how we decided to do it.
And have you ever been to Wembley Arena yourself as a fan? Have you watched any concerts there before?
Not really. Actually, you know what? Yes, we did rehearsal. Before the European tour, we did production rehearsal at Wembley.
Fantastic. So obviously you dreamt about it, you thought one day we got to play here.
Yeah, exactly.
Before the Wembley show, you're showing a special documentary. It's about the life and times of the band. Can you tell us more about the documentary?
Okay. So there's a producer, his name is John Batson. He produced famous film Searching for Sugar Man, which won Academy Award, Best Documentary, a few years ago. So I met John through my agent. agent in Los Angeles, in America. Then he also introduced me to the director's name was Stephen Kajak. His new film is Rolling Stones. So amazing team. So they started shooting ex-Japan's, shooting and also trying to archiving, like looking for the old footage of how, us pictures. About a year ago or so. So then, we kept shooting. I think probably we were shooting to the last minute, but so we are creating the ex-Japan documentary. First time. So ex-Japan has a crazy drama. It's not like a drama like we party too hard or anything. We had some death involved. So that's why the agent, my agent, asked me several years ago. That story needs to be told towards the world, but I completely agreed. But it was too painful to open that door. So let's see. I started playing piano when I was 4 years old, but then I started playing drums when I was 10. But the reason I started playing drums was my father committed suicide when I was 10. Then my mother bought me drum set. Then eventually we became a big star in Japan. Then we wanted to go overseas, but our band broke up. The reason our band broke up was the vocalist. Actually, it's not only his fault. Just a lot of things happened, but he was also brainwashed. He's recently released a book. He was in a different world over 10 years. Also, following we had the breaking up concert called The Last Live over more than 10 years ago. So following that show, several months later, our band guitar player passed away. Yeah. So then, also our old bass player, original member, he passed away 2011. So even though the story might be very dramatic and interesting, but it was so hard for us to even open the door. But eventually we decided to create the film because the agent was right. We need to just let it out and then just move forward.
So has it been a difficult experience for you to make this documentary with the passing of 8 former members and ex-Japan wasn't a happy ship in the last year? So what did it bring out of you? Has it been sort of a revealing process? Has it been good to talk about the past?
Let's see.
To exercise those demons,
We did that, last concert. Last concert was when we broke up, the band broke up. So that was a huge show at Tokyo Dome, but I couldn't release the video because I couldn't watch that video. It was too painful. So then it took 2 years for us to edit because first 5 minutes I started crying. So that was just only one show, one part of our history. So can you imagine? You have to go back entire life. So even I saw a sneak peek or just a trailer, 45 seconds, something like that. I'm already crying. So it was really painful process. Then ever since we got reunited, every single show, we cried. Because I'm playing drums like that, playing piano like that. People may not see that much, but even though we are, our music is spreading, more and more, they're getting popular probably than ever, but the pain is always there. So it's not, it's a really mixed feeling of everything. Yeah, but at the same time, because of rock, somehow survived. Made it through all those years. So also sometimes fans came to us, said because of your music, I'm here, you survived, thank you. So it's like I think we also because of our fans, we survived as well. So when I give back to them, also we do have a special kind of relationship between the band and fans and our music. So I thought it was necessary for us to after several years of thinking, also talking to the agent, decided to release this album.
And
Not being filmed, yes.
is the power of music a great healer, making music and listening to music? Is it a great healer for you?
I think so. I mean, music has more power than you can really explain.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. When I lost my father, I was crying every day. But my mother brought me drum set. That instead of crying, started banging drums. So they really helped.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
Is that how you released your aggression?
I think so. Anger, sadness, and
Yeah.
everything. When we lost Hide, the guitar player, so I was crying again every day. So I wrote the song for for him. That's kind of like I start feeling better and better. So music is just listening, of course,
Yeah.
also creating or playing. Yeah.
Fantastic. And sort of move on a little bit. With ex-Japan, you had this sort of image. You were pioneers of the visual Kai image, sort of a glam rock futuristic look. And will you still be adopting that in 2016, or are you going for a more mature look when you're on stage?
Well, so yeah, that one. So a long time ago, so we were playing super heavy music and putting a bunch of makeup. So people couldn't define what we are. So they eventually a lot of bands follow that kind of style. So they then became one genre called visual K or visual Kai. Yeah. So then after we broke up one time, but that since keep spreading. So there are like thousands of bands right now in Japan. They're doing not only Japan, there are some visual K band throughout the world. So which is very amazing. Then we are very proud of that scene. Then we are proud to be one of their founders and one of the part of it. Yeah.
Great. And you just mentioned about your fans and how much they mean to you. But obviously in Japan, your fans are like Beatles fans. I think there's a famous incident in 1991 where there's like 500 members of the Japanese self-defense forces there to protect you from the fans. So what's the most craziest incident you've had with the fans? Times you've been in a hotel room and open a door and there's someone there waiting for you.
Well, I mean, we do have all those stories that the other rock bands throughout the world had.
Yeah.
Yeah. But our fans are so sweet. It's like almost like our family. So yeah, it's like sweetest fans, then most beautiful fans in the world.
And none of the Japanese is sort of one great thing about your culture. You like giving presents to each other. So what's the best present a fan has ever given you?
The message he gave me, I survived because of the music. That's the best part.
Yeah, of course. Excellent.
Yeah.
And you mentioned that you were young and you started playing the drums at 4, and at 11 years old you and Tushi started a band Dynamite. And did your mother take you seriously? And you said we was going to form a band, and did she give you much encouragement?
Okay. Yeah, actually, so Tosha and I met when we were 4 years old.
Oh, right.
Kindergarten. Yeah. Then we started band somewhere 10 or 11, together. For some reason, we are very confident from the get-go. Just we knew we're gonna be doing rock, gonna be performing. I don't know, just even like we were 10, 11 years old, we kind of like visualized what we've been doing, what we're gonna be doing. So it's strange, but I never really doubted, question like what we're gonna be doing. I really didn't know at that time, like we're gonna be playing Wembley, this year, and then next year, but we somehow had like a confidence, without a reason.
And what music did you listen to when you was 11 years old? What influenced you?
I started playing classical piano when I was 4 years old. So I was only listening to classical piano until my father died. Then 10 years old, I started listening to Led Zeppelin, Kiss. Kiss actually first concert I went to. My mother took me.
Oh wow.
Yeah. Then eventually I started listening to Iron Maiden. Also, same time I was listening to David Bowie. Sex Pistols, or the UK bands.
Fantastic.
Yes.
And you also worked with George Martin, the Beatles producer. He sort of arranged some music for you in a classical album you made, Eternal Melody. And what did that mean, working with George Martin?
Yes, so I have a classical music background. So then I think my manager at that time was talking to George Martin's team. So I made my composition. Some of them I wrote it for that album. Some of them are Japan song. Changed it to symphony. So I worked with George Martin. George Martin produced that my album. Also London Philharmonic Orchestra.
Yes, London Philharmonic Orchestra.
Yes,
yeah.
so it was an amazing experience. So since then I started also doing orchestration myself as well. So that he was a tremendous influence towards me, George Martin.
Yeah. And was that at Abbey Road Studios we made that album?
We had a first meeting at the Abbey Road Studio, but Air Studio. I think New Air Studio, just a church.
Yeah.
I think I'm the first artist we recorded there. I think I was around the same time I was recording with Roger Taylor from Queen.
Of course, yeah, yes.
Yeah, we collaborated the song together.
Yeah. Did you ever see Queen live?
Huh?
Did you ever see Queen in concert?
Have I seen Queen live? No, actually not. I've seen a bunch of videos. We wanted to see Queen. Well, Freddie Mercury was alive too. I'm a huge Queen fan.
Well, I was about to say that because just before this interview started, he was playing a little bit of Queen on the piano, actually.
Yeah, last year I toured over 10 countries as a classical pianist.
Yeah.
Then, each country I played a special song. I played here like a royal, which hall was that? Royal hall here in London. So I was thinking that
the Royal Festival Hall, yeah.
Royal Festival Hall, yes, exactly. So I was thinking which song I should play. Like before London show, I was in Berlin. I played the Wind of Change from Scorpions.
Yeah, great
because
song,
that's the Berlin Waltz thing. So then I decided to play Bohemian Rhapsody.
Yeah. And what unfulfilled ambitions do you have for the future? Like you say, you've made orchestra albums. Is there any other kind of work you'd like to do or collaborate with someone?
Yes, I'm open to pretty much anything, but as of now, I'm really concentrating on extra plans. Album and Wembley. Then hopefully we're gonna do extra plans another world tour. So yeah. Then I'm also creating my own classical album too, but that's the kind of second burner right this moment. Yeah.
And when you do play, I know you played like not only Madison Square Gardens, you played Brazil, you played Shanghai, you played everywhere around the world. So how did your audiences differentiate from playing in Japan, where you are so massive?
Actually, audiences are not that different. Everywhere we went, there's most passionate and beautiful fans around throughout the world. We are so lucky to have that amazing audience.
Fantastic, and I imagine this tour, you've only announced one date at the moment, but I imagine it's going to take your life up for the next 2 years, I imagine?
I'm sorry?
I imagine this tour is going to take up the next 2 years of your life, I imagine?
Yeah, so next few years I'm devoting everything to that. Yeah.
Fantastic, Yoshiki, it's been fantastic talking to you. I wish you all the best for the future and ex-Japan, and I look forward to seeing you at Wembley Arena, March 12th, and watching the documentary.
Please join us.
I will do, thank you very much.
Thank you so much.
Arigato. Thank you.
ありがとうございます。